And hi, so my name is Umar. This is going to be a short video series called Umar. I have a question. I am asking you guys to ask me questions on Twitter, and I will try to answer them the best I can. Here goes. So today's question was, what's a good classic to read when you have zero exposure interest in classics? So yeah, specifically, zero exposure and zero interest in doing this. So my answer has been curated specifically for this question. All right, so knowing your classics, old English literature was from the 450 to 1066. We had 400 surviving works today that is found. Again, it's mostly from Wikipedia, but I also made sure to check the information and it is true. However, that being said, that's still more though than all the books Malaysia published last year. So malu, where we need to write more and publish. Why would you read something from this era? Well, if you have zero interest in literature, you might be a history buff, or you might like to see how language has evolved, because language from then times is very different than now times. So it's a learning experience. Will I cover that? No, go find out more about this yourself. I would suggest you tengok the different genres that they have. They have epic poetry. Epic here means just it's a very long piece, a large and respectable body of work, hagiography, sermons, Bibles, translations, legal works, chronicles, and riddles. A translated copy of Beowulf exists if you want to read something from this era. So, what is Beowulf? I'm going to tell you Beowulf from memory. This is what I learned from in college, from my literature in degree. My degree in literature. My degree in literature. Oh, Umar, educated. Ha! Okay, so it also tries to tries to make it relatable for you. So, Beowulf. Beowulf is big dude saying, I can solve your problems, and goes to solve their problems, because apparently in this one king's hall filled with riches and his place where all his best knights eat and dine, suddenly a demon humanoid thing comes in and kills their best warrior. And this happens every single night because these people in this hall, they were partying too loud, like it was way too loud. So the monster was like, yo, y'all are disturbing my sleep. And so he comes and kills each one of them every single night. A bit of a drastic response to partying, but if you can't sleep, you get angsty. I understand. I relate more with the monster. So Beowulf comes from overseas, comes and be like, I will solve the problem. What savior complex? And goes and be like, I'm gonna kill this monster. And he does. Then the mom of this monster finds out and gets mad. Well, who wouldn't? So the mom comes and attacks them too. And I think she takes something or something. I don't remember. But then the whole party with Beowulf has to go there. They try to kill the mom. Doesn't really work well. But then Beowulf saves the day. Fast forward fast forward years, and finally you have Beowulf versus a dragon, and it's followed by a party of people. But when they see this dragon, they all pee their pants. And so they all run except for one squire watching all this and one Beowulf fighting the dragon. The dragon dies, so does Beowulf. The squire saw and says, I will tell the people, and that's it. It's very, very much swords, ladies, money, and honor. But it's from the era. So yeah, unless you want to look at old style writings and shit, then maybe you want to look at the original script. We have a few scans of I think copies of it. I think it's available online. You can Google it. I mean, it's right there. So just check it out. So yeah, teka-teki. So because there's riddles, I'm gonna give you a teka-teki. Teka-teki. Negeri mana cerah? Pam 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 pam. Terengganu. Ha! Lawak bodoh hari ni. Okay, so I'm gonna skip a lot of eras because between that there's a lot of eras that cover different small evolutions in writing specifically. I'm not gonna bore you with it because again, zero interest in literature and straight to medieval theatre. So yeah, medieval theatre. In the Middle Ages, drama, the vernacular languages. Oh my god, it's copied from Wikipedia. I haven't even removed the links from. Okay. Oh, can I say? Who cares? So medieval theatre. Think traveling bards and storytellers, cerita Musa dan Kancil tapi done verbally. So you travel over the place and you tell people your stories of a family punya cerita macam oh dulu kita dengar pasal Raja Besiong and all that. Macam tu lah. So time ni lah Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey, dia pergi ke Italy. Best doh poem mini ni. Oh, it's called a sonnet. Aku nak bawa ke England doh. And he popularized it in England and so called it by his name. Not really. So sonnet tu apa? Sonnet ada, well, there's quite a few. There's Petrarchan sonnet, there's also a Shakespearean sonnet. We'll get to that in a bit. Again, I'll repeat that because I might have gone too fast. Petrarchan sonnet and Shakespeare sonnet, which has turned Volta all this. You can pause the video now to read through it. But if you're tired of this, or you don't want to consume this, because again, 0% interest in literature, you say one thing, you build this, you build all this metaphor, and then you Volta, you kasih lawan balik. That twist can come in either fight in logic or fight in metaphor or even fight in imagery. So that's the Volta, that twist. Also, sonnets are the rules you have to follow, are the ABAB, are the all these kind of things that basically makes a sonnet. And it just means a little poem. And you have to remember, the reason why they identified smaller poems as sonnet is because used to be poems were much longer. So like epic poems yang panjang bercela-cela. Tiba-tiba dapat pendek. Dapat something that's not as short as some things on Instagram, but at least they are shorter than epic poems lah. Panjang-panjang tu lah. So like, yeah. So, medieval theatre, I like The Knight's Tale. Not technically specifically a medieval literature piece, but I like it. It's not even something you would put under medieval theatre, but it has been performed and it has covers. And as a movie with a very handsome actor, which I kind of want to bring up. Apa nama medieval actor? Oh, jap. No. I'm going to show you. Hold on. The Knight's Tale. Yeah, there you go. See? Heath Ledger, A Knight's Tale. He will rock you. And I love that. I swear to gosh. I love it so much. Like, serious, tak tipu. Suka gila. So back to this. So like, The Knight's Tale ni pun cerita kalau pakai trope, Mamat A suka gadis sama dengan Mamat B and they fight for her in a joust. The joust is when they go on horses and they poke each other with lidi. Well, not really, more like fat spears. And like the new age model is jangan buat orang object to be won. You shouldn't win something. But then again, it's like dulu it was like you win and you win the girl lah, something like that lah. And well, now we use that trope, that story punya format as a way to tell people that you shouldn't objectify people. And that's the cool thing about reading old literature. The fact that there are a lot of problems that seep through into a person's literature or a body of work. And if you're able to identify that, understand why they wrote it that way, you understand why sometimes we make mistakes. And now you know how to avoid them, or why you even made the change in the first place. All right, so now to the Jacobean period, 1603 to 1625. I'm speaking very fast. Comment down below kalau I'm speaking too fast for you to follow. All right, so Jacobean period. Nah, inilah zaman Shakespeare, to be or not to be. Kesayangan semua orang. Yang tulis Macbeth, King Lear, dan macam-macam lagi. You can tell by now I do not like him specifically, but like, hey, everybody like, well, Shakespeare. So Shakespeare sonnet ni kira sonnet gaya Shakespeare. Make your own sonnet, boleh doh. Like kalau nama kau Ahmad, jadilah Ahmadian sonnet. Di mana dalam sonnet tu kau kena ada pantun tengah. Ataupun kau buat satu sonnet, hujung bawah tu after the volta, that two line, BB something. Kalau Shakespearean, kalau in normal sonnet it's AB something, and it's a very clear sextet format. But kalau Shakespeare, you have a bottom where it's just two lines. I might be getting this wrong because I am mostly using what I can remember. If I am wrong, tell me down below and I'll correct it in the next video. Make your own sonnet where kalau nama kau Ahmad, yeah, you can basically add whatever you want to a sonnet, popularize it and give it your name. Fun fact, there's even a poetry format over in the Philippines. Basically, what I'm saying is that how you popularize a poem will give it its name. And if you want to call it your name, silakanlah, because people do that. It's sangat narcissistic. Okay, off tangent. Okay, so in this period, I like from Shakespeare Much Ado About Nothing. Now, specifically not from the era, but like from the same writer lah. I like that lah. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about whole like is it under the Jacobean period? It's I'm not gonna get into this discussion. But I like Much Ado About Nothing. The story is light-hearted enough and ends on a light note. Shakespeare suka sangat orang mati tau. Suka sangat lah. Sangat suka. die. People die. There's even a play where everyone just dies. Die. The other Shakespearean plays stress, drama, emo, gila. It's kind of cool thing. You already have this established character tropes, which he does play with stereotypes and then breaks them. So this is the cool thing for me. Man, for Umar's highlights, Shakespeare's ability. This is me. Okay, so Shakespeare is able to subvert and twist stereotypes of zaman tu. He also attacks hierarchs like kings and queens, but puts it in a faraway country. For example, Macbeth. It's him questioning and like attacking things he finds problematic with his government, but puts it in a setting far, far away in Scotland for a Scottish king, which is Macbeth. Which theatre people will not say the name because if they do, they have to play or perform or even recite the whole play sampai habis. If not, bad luck because it's cursed. Dia macam kalau kau buat play, but there's a putri play in Malay that's cursed and ada lagu dia Putri Mak Yong, something like that lah. And if you sing the song, you will memang akan kena curse. So like, avoid saying it. Kalau you're Indian theatre people, you will freak them out. Or if you want to clear a cafe full of theatre people, just say Macbeth multiple times. Probably they will get spooked. Who knows? So like, ala Alfian Sa'ad lah. Alfian Sa'ad is a writer of also a theatre script writer that is based in Singapore, and he does more or less the same thing, but in our era, in our style. So having a comparison between Shakespeare and Alfian Sa'ad could be something interesting, could not be too. Who knows? Find that out for yourself. Baca lah Alfian Sa'ad, baca Shakespeare, and then compare. Alright, so romantic period, 18th century. Romantic period. Romance. Sampai dapat that anime reference, pandai lah kau lah. Social change in England and Wales that took place in the period roughly between 1750 and 1850. Again, I will tell you up front, I got this from Wikipedia, but I did make sure to check the reference that they used for this. So like, I'm just explaining these things to you. Why am I explaining myself? Because it's deep-seated in insecurity. Stop outing yourself, Umar. The movement of so many people in England was the result of two forces. Now, this is something you'll find in history a lot. I like to watch. I can't remember, forget it for now. The agricultural revolution that involved the enclosure of the land. Basically, orang tu tak tanah sebab dia tak nak buat dah benda tu dah malasan nak handle dia punya peasants. They drove workers off the land. Kau belah tanah aku, and you go to cities to pergi ke kilang untuk kerja kat kilang. Because the industrial revolution happened. So coal and mining and a lot of factories was happening. So this was a response to a previous period. If you want to know more, still go Google and baca sendiri. That's not the point. Again, the question was asked by someone with zero interest in literature. So, think Malaysia zaman Mahathir pushed for the industrial instead of agriculture. So, zaman dulu Malaysia was focused on agriculture, but Mahathir pushed for industrial to the point where University Pertanian Malaysia turned into University Putra Malaysia. Alright, so the landscape is often prominent in the poetry of this period. So much so that romantics, bacalah sendiri. I'll read it for you because you're too lazy. Especially perhaps Wordsworth, the Ambient Nature poem, and dia akan menggunakan benda tu untuk deal with the emotion. There's one poem, I'm going to check it sekejap. It's about, I am in a Wordsworth pond, flower poem. What's it called again? Daffodils! Yeah! The name of the poem is called I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. Now I'm just going to read it for you, Jalal. You're not going to Google it for yourself. Are you going to Google it for yourself? Take the time I'm taking to Google it, to think about it. Will you Google these things for yourself? I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way that stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Ni bunga, The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a joking company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show had to me had brought, for oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon the inward eye which is the bliss of solitude. Aku tengah lepak seorang seronok tu, tengah mengelamun, fikir balik, reminiscing tu macam nostalgia balik benda yang lama. And then my heart with pleasure fills with and dances with the daffodils. So dia macam like, tengah sedih, aku tengah nak ingat benda yang best. Benda best tu biar aku lepak, Aku keluar ke taman nampak bunga-bunga semua. Oi, baik saya, baik doh. That's basically the romantic period lah by Wordsworth. So if you want to have suggested for this era, I would say go for Wordsworth. Bacalah his poem, The Duff. I wandered lonely as a cloud. So yeah, they deal with heavy personal trauma through nature metaphors. Kalau sedih, maybe like dry earth. Okay, one type also too. Basically, what I'm saying is that bila diorang sedih, they use nature as a way to tie it in. So yeah, mostly sad stuff, but there's some cool happy stuff too. What was I wandered lonely as a cloud was one I studied masa my degree, so that was great to look at. So I would that also suggest you read for the romantic period Songs of Innocence, followed by Songs of Experience, written by Robert Burns. I've added the poems here. Pause the video if you need to take time to read it. But just need to. I'll read the second one. So the Innocence, Songs of Innocence is basically his writing of a poem through the eyes of innocence, and then he puts it on a flip and then writes it from the point of experience, as in you have gained an experience that allows you to see the things you used to see in a different light. And this is a cool poem to have compared. The Chimney Sweeper. So you see in the beginning, it talks about how like Tom is trying his hardest to deal with the fact that they are children. Okay, you have to remember it's a very dark period, industrial period. They are working as chimney sweepers. Budak kecil, because only small bit children can fit up the chimney and sweep it out. And hari-hari bersihkan asap semua tu. Their lungs are all wrecked. Hair dah putih sebab dah stress. Because white hair, you know, kalau anime orang putih dah stress sangat. Kaneki from what's the anime again? Tokyo Ghoul. So stuff like that lah. So last, they all go to heaven because they did such a good work. Because through the morning was cold, Tom was happy and warm. So if all do their duty, they need not fear harm. Kalau buat kerja tak risau, selamat lah dorang. Kesian. There's even a line here where were all of them locked up in coffins of black. Oi. Here's the experience one now. A little black thing among the snow crying, weep, weep, in notes of woe, where are thy father and mother? Say they are both gone up to the church to pray. Because I was happy upon the heath and smiled among the winter snow, they clothed me in the cloths of death and taught me to sing the notes of woe. And because I am happy and dance and sing, they think they have done me no injury and are gone to praise God and his priest and king who make up a heaven of our misery. So terbina lah, well to translate lah, macam terbina lah syurga diorang menggunakan kesedihannya budak-budak kecil tu because they are sold off to do the work. It's a really sad and somber poem, and it's worth the time you take to explore these two poems. So have fun with that. The Victorian literature of 1837 to 1901. All right. So Victorian literature, Charles Dickens, Bronte sisters. You probably grew up seeing it somewhere, and if you didn't, I hope you get the chance to read the books. They are mostly free. If you have a phone, you can download them from Project Gutenberg. They are free for you to read. Okay, so Umar cadangkan baca Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I actually really loved reading Wuthering Heights. The synopsis of it all, synopsis is the word here, synopsis lah. Is synopsis? I have no idea. Jenis cerita mak bapak tak sesuai. They jumpa, bapak dia very nature, mak dia very urban. And then like tak ngam tau. So then they married with people, and then their children got the relationship that they wanted but could not work out. Something like that lah. Am I lying? Is it correct? Who knows? Baca buku tu lah. And that's it. Lepas tu, it's modernism era, but that falls aside the scope of the question. Next, please. All right, that was it. Thank you for coming and watching this video. This was Umar. I have a question brought to you by Mark Lasani. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in the next video if I have one. That's it for now. Bye.